And gentlemen, whether you are here in our God and Gigs community, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on our Facebook page, I just realized I turned all the lights off and that was silly because I just got super dark. So I'm going to do what you shouldn't do and lean away from the camera for a second and turn these lights back on. There we go. Now it's a little better. So thank you so much for being a part of our community. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching this on a replay, which I'm jumping in kind of just out of nowhere, didn't plan this one necessarily, just realized that I have not gone live in a long time. And I said, you know what? This is a day that at least I should jump in and celebrate with you. If you're watching this now and you're with us on a Friday, you are joining me on the day that we have just released our 200th episode of the God and Gig show. And that is our podcast that we share every week. We've done 2 episodes a week for the last few months, which is quickly growing our catalog, but we've been around since 2017. Sharing for faith-focused creators who want to transform their life from the inside out by applying timeless spiritual principles to the temporary creative problems you've been facing. And I just thought it was an important day to at least show up, say hello, say thank you to anyone that has been following. And even if you haven't been following, to kind of use this as a motivation for you to stay consistent with whatever God has put in your heart to accomplish and to do as a creative. And the reason why, like I said, this is important for me to share with you is because it's only because you've been showing up that we've been showing up. And I shared that today in our 200th episode. So I thought it was a perfect day to come in and say, hey, whatever you're doing, make sure you stick with it, because that's the only way that I can say, I know we made it to this milestone, is by sticking with it. We're going to also do this on, I almost forgot to do this on Instagram too. So we're going to jump in on all of our networks and just say hi to everyone. Let's see if I can get this one going. I've got so many things going on at the same time. Let's see if we can keep it all going and not lose sight of everything that's happening at once. We'll see if this works. It should be interesting, if anything. Yeah, I think that works. There we go. So, all right. So now we've got a whole bunch of things happening at one time. We're on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We're everywhere. Okay, so anyway. So let me tell you just some highlights real quick that I believe that this 200th episode is going to bring out for you in terms of what we've accomplished. I didn't go into this a lot on our episode today, but I kind of want to tell you just some of the things that do apply to everybody when it comes down to us reaching 200. Hello, everybody on Instagram that's joining us. We're talking about and celebrating 200 episodes, 200. Is that right? 200. I don't know how. Okay, that clearly was not planned. I did not get that right. 200. Okay, yeah. Why not? I don't know. I don't think there's a sign for that. But 200 episodes of our podcast. So the first lesson and the first thing that I think applies to anyone that is trying to reach a milestone like 200 episodes is starting with nothing and saying that's okay. Okay, because we started with nothing. I started with, thank you so much, Tony. Appreciate that. Thank you, Jared. Hey, I see Coach. So I think that's Precious that's joining us on Instagram. No, on Facebook as well. So hey, Precious, I'm pretty sure I know that's you. I don't get that. I have Coach behind me, but I don't think anybody else calls me Coach except you. So if that's Precious, then go ahead and put your name in. I think I know who that is, though. So the first thing is we started really with nothing. I started this in 2017. I don't think podcasting really even was a thing. Or if it was a thing, it wasn't necessarily like a big thing. We didn't have Joe Rogan. We didn't have Spotify. I mean, we're talking about, yep, I thought so. I knew it was Precious. Thank you so much, Precious. Appreciate that. So we started really with nothing, and definitely no cameras, definitely none of this stuff that we have. I mean, this is like my makeshift studio / office behind me, but clearly none of this was existing. I mean, my kids weren't even still teenagers. We had just started the book that you see behind me here, the book that we wrote. But most of this infrastructure and things did not exist in 2017 when we started. And another thing that I've learned that I hope applies to you as well, that I don't want to just make it about me in 200 episodes, I want to make it about you. Another thing that I think would apply to everybody that's watching this is being okay with the dips and the stops and the breaks and the obstacles. Hey, Stephanie, thanks for joining us. Cersei over there on Instagram. We had I want to say a 5-month period that we had no episodes. A 5-month period in which the WordPress, our blog broke. So basically, I couldn't send any episodes. Well, what was showing up was not coming through. So in other words, whatever technical issue was happening, it was not showing up. So the podcast was broken for 5 months, 6 months maybe. And I honestly thought at that point, like, it's over. Okay, so I guess it's not working. But I kept calling tech support. I kept working on it. It's like, okay, there has to be some solution to this of why I can't upload these episodes. And this relates to you in this way. Like, whatever you are working on, I guarantee you there's probably something where you hit a stone wall. And I felt like there was absolutely no possibility of building this thing back up. It was over. It was just too hard. It was ridiculous. It was driving you insane. It's frustrating. And all of those emotions definitely were following me every single day that the podcast was literally offline. It was offline. Like, I just could not get it back onto the internet for whatever reason, whatever this tech issue was. It was not working. So that really, really did teach me that it almost has to be I hate to say it this way, almost like an irrational ability to stick with things. It's not rational to stick with something for 5 or 6 months after it's not working. It's not logical. It's not logical to stick with things that look like they're not working. Okay, but I'm talking to people who have faith, and we all know that faith is not logical. Okay, now faith can make sense, but faith doesn't actually make logical sense oftentimes. Okay, so I want to encourage you, if you're watching this and you also want to get to 200 whatevers, okay, 200 episodes, if you want to get to 200,000 downloads, if you want to get to whatever the 2 is in your life, okay, I want to encourage you to be ready for an obstacle that seems like it makes no sense to keep it going, and it feels like it's absolutely breaking. Now, as a matter of fact, let me ask you these questions before I get into all of my things. Have you reached or hit an obstacle that kind of hits you and you feel like you can't keep going? You feel like you can't keep going. You feel like it doesn't make any sense to keep going. Have you ever overcome something like that? And maybe you can share that so that we can use this live as a chance to kind of encourage each other. Because again, that 5-month period for me was kind of like the Red Sea moment that I crossed. We got through it. We kept going, created the podcast again. And finally, after I guess 6 months of working with tech support, I eventually picked up another host so that I was able to get through that and picked up a better system and flow technically. So that all eventually worked itself out. Okay, Precious, you say that I feel like that monthly. Yeah, I feel you. I think that, and look, we just had some car issues just this other, literally 2 hours ago that made me feel like I want to just give up because I'm so tired of having car repairs and things like that hit me in the long times. And so these dips and these happens, but I want to speak specifically of creative dips, creative obstacles, creative times that things feel like they just go dead. And this is where I feel like, again, thank God for people who encouraged us. Thank God for people who did not let us quit when that dip happened, when that obstacle that absolutely, again, shut the podcast down for 5 months. So that to me is another thing that if you are dealing with anything like that, okay, acknowledge it feels irrational to keep going. It's going to feel irrational and it feels like you are absolutely making no sense. People will question your sanity for sticking with it when it doesn't seem like it's working at all. Okay. Third thing that I think I would love to ask your opinion on, and this has to do with the consistency and showing up for 200 episodes or showing up for whatever it is the who. Like, who are you doing your thing for? Who are you sticking with it for? Now, for me, you, as you're watching this, and as you, oh, I should put in, I'm sorry, I should actually put in the site. It's pretty easy to remember the name of the podcast, right? But I should at least put in the podcast. So it's got a gig slash 200, easy to find, right? So let's just put that in just to make sure you guys can see it. So Golden Gig slash 200. Hey, I see Wilfredo over there on Instagram. Good to see you, brother. Eileen as well. So let me see if I can get this to show up. There we go. So now you're seeing it at least on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube, okay? So celebrating 200 episodes of the God and Gigs show. Man, this is a really, really fun day for me. GodandGigs.com/200. By the way, this episode is not a long episode. This live is going to be longer than that episode. Oh, can't hear me. I wonder why not. Let's make sure that microphone isn't like messing you up. I apologize for that. I don't see anything wrong with the microphone over here, but hopefully I'm not. Hopefully you can eventually hear me. So anyway, what I was saying was in terms of the thing that you're doing the person for, the person that you're doing the thing for. So for me, there are some people in this community that I did not mention on the actual podcast. I want to mention now. Precious, you are definitely one of those people. Your brother Tobias, Simony Hugie, who has been with us for a long time. Also Michael Hugie, her husband, and also Charmaine, who's a member of our God and Gigs 360 community. I want to shout out our former co-host, Cristal Renee, who for a year and a half, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, was a member of this show. And I still thank her to this day for helping us get off the ground, for giving so much energy and life to our early episodes. She's decided to move on and she has amazing things happening in the rest of her life. So she is still a honored part, will always be an honored part of the God and Gig show. But these are the people, you who are watching now, me, you who are watching me, you who have been a part of this community. Whatever you do, whether you're a poet, creative, musician, artist, filmmaker, whatever you do, you are the reason why we keep doing this. And I want to make sure you have a you. Like, who is your who? Who are you working for? Who are you performing for? Who are you trying to reach? Because that has been huge in me sticking with this as long as I have, and as long as there's a community here that we can share with. Okay, good. You can hear me now. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, I really want to know if you can share with this in the comments. Who is your who? I think we did a podcast on that. Oh gosh, we did a podcast on so many episodes, so many different topics. I mean, but who is your who? Like, who do you show up for every week, every month? Can you name that person? Can you say, all right, well, I show up for a Julio. I show up for a John. I show up for my mom. I show up for my parents. I show up for my kids. Like, who are you showing up for day after day after day? Because if you're a creative, yeah, you can say I show up for my talent. I show up because I love to do this. But I don't think that's enough to stick with it long term. I think if you want to stick with something long term, you need a who. You can't just have a what. Your purpose has to be connected to a person. So if your purpose is not, oh gosh, the episode we just shot. Oh, Nayari, my friend Nayari, we just did an episode with her. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait for you to hear this episode. Okay, Nayari hit this on the head when we interviewed today. We have 2 cool episodes coming up. One is with Nayari, another one, so the gentleman named Vince, who's going to tell us all about NFTs. You guys are you're going to be blown away. I was blown away when I learned about NFTs, but I'm skipping ahead. So Precious says, my who is my parents and brothers who are all creatives. Wilfredo says his grandson. Wow, that's powerful, man. So we have family over here on Facebook and family over here on Instagram. So if your who is, and my who is definitely my family as well. And it's funny because I don't know if they are always my who, my who and my why, but I wonder if I've ever really connected the dots between, because I've never wanted to like force them into this particular project. I've never told them, oh, well, this is for you. This is for you. Hopefully they know when I'm locked up in this office that this is for them. But I think in this particular context, I think I'm talking about the who I'm showing up for is both my family because I want to bless them, because I want to support them, but more in terms of this, I'm called to my fellow creatives. This is a calling. Tony, oh man, you're still with us, brother. You said my family and then you're my community. Man, if you guys don't know Tony Villasuso, sorry, man, messed up your name. Villasuso, I want to shout out Tony here on Instagram. He's been on my other podcast, which I help produce at my church, The Family Business with the Alessis. His story is amazing. He is another person that's given his life in service. Tony, I love that. I know you have a who. I know you show up every day for your people. And even though you may not be in a creative artist space, you are showing up every day to create a community where people are served and loved. He works with the Miami Rescue Mission down here in South Florida. So, Tony, I love that. And thank you for hanging out with me here at God at Gigs. This is really, really cool. So I really do feel, everyone, that this is what matters to all of us. And like I said, when I started saying, okay, well, how do I celebrate 200 episodes? Do I bring in a big guest? Do I do a big party? Do I have a whole bunch of people like send in voice notes? And as you'll hear on the podcast, if you go to godandgigs.com/200, it's literally like a 10-minute podcast. Like I just shared my heart like I'm sharing right now. And I said, okay, this is the best way for me to make sure that I am all about what my who is. My who and my why are my people, my community, you. You are the one that is the reason why I keep showing up. And if you're getting value from what God and Gigs shares, then I need to keep doing it. Now, should God and Gigs ever become just a project just for stroking my own ego? And it's just, oh, well, you showed up today and you did it just for me and yay. Then I need to give it up because it can never be just about me. It's always got to be about other people. I've always got to be blessing someone else. So at any point, this podcast or project or your project ever becomes just about you, then you have permission to give it up and say, hey, maybe I'm not just feeling this thing anymore. And that's okay. That's quite okay. Matter of fact, I think one thing that people think wrongly of is they think quitting is a bad thing. Quitting is not a bad thing if you quit the right thing. So if you quit the thing that no longer feeds your soul, if you quit the thing that no longer feeds others, no longer blesses others, then it's time to quit. And that's quite all right. I think it's a good thing to give up on the things that don't bless others, that are no longer a part of that ecosystem that you need to be feeding, and move on to kind of focus on other things that really are feeding your soul and helping others. Has anybody else ever gone through that where you had to quit something? Because this is funny that we're talking about consistency and at the same time I'm saying the word quit. But in order to be consistent with one thing, you have to let other things go. And I can definitely think of things I've let go. Even going live is one thing I let go. I feel bad because I wanted to go live all the time and now I stopped going live. But I've had to let some things go in order to be consistent in other things. And I think the same thing is for you. So if you've ever had to let something go, put it in the comments. Anything that you've had to say, I want to be consistent in one thing, so I quit this other thing. So I made a judgment call. I gave up on doing this so that I could do that. Okay, there's got to be something in your life that you're saying, okay, it's okay to quit this because God's allowing me to move on to something else. And that thing, honestly, it hurts, but I can say even in God and Gigs and in my life, my creative life, there's been relationships I've had to let go of. That was better. It was better that I let go so I could be consistent in other areas, consistent with my family, consistent with my faith, consistent in the way that I show up, consistent with my energy. If I didn't give up on those things, then I would have been giving less to the people. So every no to one person was a yes to somebody else. Every no to a project was a yes to another project. And so saying no to the right things meant I could say yes to the right things. Hey, is that all right? Hi, what's going on, my friend? Congratulations. I believe are in order. I'm trying to remember. Is it baby number 3? I can't remember how many babies it is now, my friend. It's so good to see you. See, this is why I need to go live more often. I feel horrible because I was not consistent in going live, y'all. Podcasting, yes. Lives, I dropped off the map. I totally stopped showing up. I really felt like, okay, I just don't have time and margin for this. And now even just seeing my friends pop up on the chat, you guys are amazing. I love this. I got to show this so I can see you guys showing up. This is another reason why I like WeStream. Baby number 3. Congratulations on baby number 3. Love it. Okay, guys. And again, I hope you guys are getting something out of this. I did not want to just pop and do a live and just pat myself on the back. I didn't want to just show up just to try to get likes. I wanted to show up and number one, say thank you if you've been supporting the show. If not, even a bit, no big deal. I wanted you to get something out of it. Out of every time I show up, I want you to leave a little bit better than you did before you hit the play button. And so we've gone through three things. We've gone through the obstacles. We've gone through the starting with nothing and just trying something out. We've gone through realizing that you have to quit some things in order to get other things consistent. And again, my kind of final message, and again, you'll see it in the podcast when you do that. When you watch the podcast or listen to the podcast, you will see, let me get that number up there again, podcast 200. Oh, and I should be commenting on Instagram too. I'm sorry, guys. I have so many things that's trying to keep everything going at the same time. I can't type because my brain does not work. And I'll start saying what I'm typing, which is silly. And I know I'm supposed to say this before I start. There we go. Can I pin that? There we go. Finally. All right. Whew. All right. Thank you. Sorry about that. All right. So we've gone through all these things. And the final thing, and I said this in the podcast. But again, I'm just going to say it again because who cares how many times I say it. The reason that I am so, honored to be a part of this community and to help lead this community is because you are inspiring me. Is because you being a creative, you doing what you're doing is an inspiration. And you might say, okay, that doesn't make any sense because either I don't know you or I haven't watched you, I haven't seen your stuff or whatever. But I just know that if you are in this game with me, if you're in this ministry, in this life, creative life with me, I'm inspired because look, a lot of us did not have to choose to do this. This may not be your full-time passion or full-time gig, I should say, or your job. This may be a passion project for now, and you're still showing up. You may be thinking that, hey, you know what? I'm just not sure what I'm going to do with this, but I'm going to try it anyway. You're showing up every day. That inspires me and inspires others around you. So if I'm, again, I'm going to say this in a podcast. If you listen to it, that's fine. If you hear it now, I don't care when you hear it. It's so important that you realize that you are an inspiration, even when you don't feel like you're inspired. I hope this makes sense. It is when you don't feel inspired and you show up that you actually inspire. Okay? You showing up when you don't have it and you feel like, hey, the song's I'm not feeling the song. I'm not feeling the poem. I'm not feeling this scene. I'm not feeling this, this passage that I'm writing. I've been throwing the ball away, balling up the paper and throwing it away over and over again. And you keep doing that. And someone's like, the moment that they showed up when they weren't inspired was the most inspiring thing I've seen all day. And I can tell you right now, me, like you coming on this podcast right now, even on this screen right now, me after like paying way too much money for a car repair, that just like, oh my God, Lord, what are you going to do? Because this is ridiculous. And me saying, okay, but it's time to show up because there's 200 episodes and there's no reason why I should be down on myself. And hopefully someone's like, oh, he turned on the camera. I could turn on the camera and I'm not in the best space. Let's be straight up. Let's be honest. I'm not in the best space, and yet I decided to turn the camera, which I hope inspires somebody else. And you do the same thing. It's actually when you're the least inspired that you are the most inspiring. Like, that's the oxymoron, the crazy, ironic thing, is that it's not when you feel the best that you have the greatest impact. It's when you feel bummed out about it that you literally have the most impact. And so for me, I can think of how many episodes that I recorded some episodes in my car, with my phone, I recorded some episodes where, I mean, there were episodes that never made the light of day because the mic was off or like the connection was bad. There was so many times it was like, man, I am not showing up at my best. And I'm supposed to show up at my best. That's what I'm supposed to do. Always supposed to be your best, 100%. And I'm not showing up at my best. And yet, me not showing up at my best is permission to somebody else to show up at their best because they're like, oh, he did it and he wasn't even at his A game. That thank God, like someone else is, I am not the only one. So me being less inspired is literally the greatest inspiration I can provide by being present and honest and consistent. It's been honestly the blessing that I did not realize that was possible, but it has been like a great blessing. My friends, I'm inspired just by right now, just seeing the comments right now, seeing people that joined us on Instagram. Again, haven't gone live, have not been consistent on lives. Literally was doing a creative checkup at noon and just kind of just let it go by the wayside. Should I bring this? I mean, I'm not okay. That sounds like I'm fishing for compliments, but honestly, like if we should bring this back, I'll bring it back. I'll recommit, because the doing this. Hey, Mickey, what's up, brother? We're celebrating 200 episodes and talking about being consistent and what helps us stay consistent as creatives. Something I should ask. The consistent creative challenge, should we bring it back? Because I did a consistent creative challenge, like I think the last one we did was 2 years ago, maybe a year ago. I'm not sure, but we haven't done one in a long time. And I actually put it to the wayside because I thought people are more interested in cash flow, or they're more interested. So I did a create new income challenge. Or they were more interested in, it was last year. Thank you. Yes. So I haven't done one since last year. And now it's like, maybe I'm losing track of once again the thing that resonates with me more than anything else. Thank you so much. I already said here, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Showing up and be present. Congratulations. Oh, wow. That does my heart good. Thank you so much. That blesses me. That honestly blesses me. And like I said, like I don't do these episodes for myself because it would be so easy for me to just say, hey, you know what? Like, just this one didn't have many downloads. It's not worth it. Or people are not getting inspired, or maybe it's, and so, but these last 2 episodes that I just shot reinvigorated me. If I was feeling down on myself, that is gone now. I am absolutely ready to get back in the podcast booth right here where I am now. And I'm probably should be getting behind the mic and the camera every week to tell you what's going on. But yes, consistent creative challenge. You say we should bring it back. Okay, Precious. All right. So on the vote, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let a thing be established. So it has been established. We are going to bring back the consistent creative challenge. I just got to see when. Maybe I think Labor Day week might be weird because people are coming back on Monday. So that'd be kind of like a weird thing to start. But we could start it on Tuesday, or maybe we could do it the week after. We could do it the week after. Yeah, we'll figure it out. But I'll do it in September. How's that? Like, I'm going to hold my feet to the fire. You guys hold my feet to the fire. Consistent. I got to stay consistent. So consistent creative challenge in September. We'll do it in September. And, we may put like some wrinkles in. Maybe we need to do maybe we can do like an invite kind of prize thing. Maybe we should do like a year. We could do a year free membership to God and Gigs 360. We could also do free books. We could do free coaching programs. We could do we could do all kinds of things for the people who invite people to join. But yeah, I think it's time to bring it back. I do think it's time to bring it back. I appreciate you guys so much. If you're watching for the first time, or is there someone that's watching either in the community or on YouTube, post and just tell me what is the one thing that you have been consistent at doing. Because we're celebrating 200 episodes. but you might be celebrating something else that you've been consistent in doing. And I'd love to talk about you. I don't want to just make about me and the show, because it's more about you. So, hey, look at that. Keith is in the building. Keith, good to see you, brother. I don't normally do this live thing on YouTube, but I went ahead and did it live. Good to see you, bro. Wow. He has been, okay, I got to get all these podcast names. I don't want to go mess up my computer, so I'm not going to type it the computer. Keith, I think your podcast was, oh gosh, it was 140 something. I don't remember the number. You guys go listen to Keith's podcast on the interview that he did. Another mind-blowing. There are so many good episodes. Oh my gosh, there's so many good episodes. And I'm not trying to blow my horn. I'm trying to say that these people that I've interviewed are amazing. Keith, you dropped so many gems in that episode, man. I need to go back and listen to that myself right away. Let me see what Ari says here. Oh my gosh, you're dropping so many good gems here for Ari. It'd be super helpful. I realize sometimes as creators, we lose momentum on our journey for different reasons and seasons. The CCC, yes, because it's a great job. The CCC is like an encouragement booster. Wow, thank you. That is amazing. I won't cry, y'all, because look, I get concerned that like, oh, well, rolling out the same thing. I haven't changed it. I haven't done it, revised it. I will do this, though. I will tell you this. When we did the challenge last time, Marty, we did not have 360. I didn't have the membership. And I'll be very honest with you guys. 360 is like the CCC on steroids. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do something that I did similar with the Create New Income Challenge. I wonder if I should tell you. I feel like I'm giving away too much. But, okay, well, You'll see. Okay, I'm literally thinking in my head, like, how do I do this? How do I change this around? How do I make this really exciting? But you'll see why, like, we have even more resources available now for the Consistent Creator Challenge. And it really is perfect timing. I can't believe, see, you're helping me, because I'm like, why didn't I think to do that? 200 episodes consistent, us launching a whole new platform, getting ready for Christmas and everything, and trying to stay consistent with our goals all the way to the end of the new year. Y'all, we're only 4 months away from 2023. I mean, come on. This is like, time is flying, and we are all trying to move into a better place, and God in a better place, where God's blessing us and helping us to do what we want to do. Okay, so I should close off because I got to get ready to go in a second. This has been a wonderful reintroduction to going live. Thank you so much for watching. I did not know what was going to happen. I literally turned the camera on. I said, what's going to happen? I don't know if anybody's going to watch, whatever. It's time to at least say thank you. And I'm saying thank you. So quickly, if you are following us, please, I'm not following us, please follow us on Instagram, God and Gigs, also Facebook. If you're on Facebook right now or YouTube, subscribe to our channel. Okay. That will be a blessing because it keeps us connected to you and connected on socials. So definitely please follow us. If you're on Instagram right now, hopefully you're following us already, or you are going to subscribe to the podcast. The podcast itself, again, short and sweet. Episode 200 is available now, but I would love for you, actually, what would be really cool is if you found an episode back in the archives and shared it with one person. So maybe it's not 200 that speaks to you. Maybe it's 187. Maybe it is the recent one that we did with Shayla Shanae. Maybe it's the one with Jermaine Morgan. Maybe it's the one with Keith. Maybe it's the one with Tobias. Maybe it's the one with Trent Phillips. Maybe it's the one with our late, great, amazing brother Paris Bowens. Episode 96. Episode 96 with Paris Bowen will always hold a big place in my heart. Same thing with episode 8 with Melton Mustafa Sr., who also passed away. We lost him, but we got his words and wisdom on recording. So if there's a favorite episode that has touched you in the last 200 episodes, would you just go back and find it? It's pretty easy to find all of our episodes because you just put the number, godandgigs.com/number. So all you got to do is just find that episode. If it's a certain person, if you're not sure which one it was, tell me. I will go look it up and I will tell you what number it is. Bless, Precious, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much. Oh, I have someone that's the first time. Okay, awesome. I'm sorry. I thought that was Precious because I assumed it was the same person. I cannot see the names. You have to do like a special thing to see names on Facebook groups. So I apologize. I don't know who that is. If that's you, if it's your first time, type your name so I know who you are. Because unfortunately, the way the connection works with my Restream platform, it doesn't show me names inside of the Facebook group. I can see it in YouTube, but I can't see it in Facebook. Or a Facebook group. Okay. Oh, Jason. Hey. Okay. Thank you, Jason, for joining us. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Jason. It's awesome to have you with us, man. Appreciate it, man. First time. Yeah, you're joining us at a perfect time. This cool juncture where we're celebrating the past, future, and talking about how we stay consistent as people that God has called to this. This platform has been around since 2016, the podcast since 2017. And my name is Alan, and I'm here just helping people to transform their lives from the inside out by applying timeless spiritual principles to temporary creative problems. And we help people get highly motivated and get out of their own way and achieve what God has blessed them to do creatively, whether they're inside or outside of a church. And that's what we do. It's what I've been doing. It's what some people have told me I need to tell people more about, because clearly, I guess I don't like putting myself on camera. I don't like showing up like being like, hey, it's a face and, the beard and the gray and everything. It's like, I want to lead with the information, but sometimes I have to remember I also have to lead with the authenticity of being them. And I will try to be a lot more cognizant of that. All right. I know I said I was going to leave. I'm doing like the preachers. I'm doing the 3 closes. Okay. So once again, those of you who are following us, make sure you follow us on all the platforms. The podcast, my one wish and request is to go back, find one specific episode that blessed you, that helped you, send it to somebody. And then the third and last thing is just what I just talked about, the consistent creative challenge that we just agreed as a community. We're going to launch it again. I'm going to go in right now. I'm going to start building those pages back up, bringing out some new lessons. We're going to get back to the creative challenge because it is really like what we're all about. Like, God says, be not weary in well doing, for in due season ye shall reap if you don't faint. Okay. Galatians 6:9. It's a theme verse for many of us, a theme verse really for this platform. And if you are here and you are staying consistent, just like we have to make it doing it. So then I would not be happy if, but I go ahead and say thank you so much for being a part of this life. Thank you for being a part of God and Gigs community. If I can do anything to help you directly, let me know. I promise I will reach out directly. You can email me at Alan C. Paul. Sorry, not Alan C. Paul, just Alan at godlygigs.com. It's pretty simple. AlanPaul.com. Okay. You can join me there and you can email me. Let me know what you need help with as a faith-focused Christian creative in the arts and entertainment industry who's trying to build that better creative life from the inside out. And let's say you need help with marketing. Let's say you need help with monetization. Let's say you need help with mission. Like, how do I keep this thing going? Let's say you need help with keeping momentum. Okay. Any of those things. If it's mission, if it's momentum, if it's marketing, whatever those things are, we can help you. And the most important way that we can help you, wait, you guys, Carlin McCullough just joined us on Instagram, and I have to shout out Carlin. What's up? God bless you, man. We're celebrating 200 episodes by talking to the community about being consistent and how amazing it is to stick with what God has put in you. Carlin, you are an inspiration to all of us. Your episode was one of the highlights of our entire catalog. Gosh, I need the number. I can't go on my phone. Can someone go and look up what Carlin, just put in God and Gigs, Carlin McCullough, and tell me what episode that was, because I can't remember any of the numbers right now, and it's driving me crazy because my phone is on and I can't check it. But go listen to Carlin McCullough's episode, please, if you have not heard it. Oh my gosh, that was fire, sir. Thank you so much for being a part of even this little moment. I just jumped on live to say thank you to everybody. This is really, really, really special. And just seeing these names of people that are in this community. Again, I literally just turned on the camera for I was just sharing how today's a bad car day for us. We just had a big old car repair that just swacked us. And I'm like, man, I did not have that prepared. And now I'm like feeling like all of a sudden, you know what? God's got it. God's got people around me who are blessing other people. He's got creatives in this community who are literally going after it every day, that are creating great things like Shed Tracks, creating great things like going out to the Stellars, like Precious, my friend Precious here, and making new connections. Just interviewed a couple of people who have been on Beyonce's Homecoming record and her new Renaissance record, and being on Kanye's last projects. I mean, these are the people and people that are teaching me about NFTs. Carlin, you got to listen to the one about NFTs. We got to talk about NFTs very soon, because what I just learned from this guy blew my mind. You will love the NFT conversation if you're not already in it. You might already have some stuff, man, but bro, there's some major stuff available to us that apparently we're not taking advantage of as much as we should in this community. And now I'm like, what? I cannot wait to share that with this entire community. Okay. I said again, this is the last close, because I got to go. All right. What were the things I said? Oh, yeah. Number one, blessing you, thanking you for being a part of God and Gift Show, being a part of the movement, being a part of my life. Number two, the way you can thank us, share this episode with somebody. Go share one episode. Pick any episode. Just go godandgigs.com/anything. Okay. Yeah, it's not out yet. It's not out yet, by the way. I just recorded it yesterday. I want to release it like today. I'll probably release it in another 2 weeks. And yeah, check it out, man, because this guy is, he is like, I was afraid that my brain would burst because it was so much information. But then when he wrapped it up in how, I just gotta let you listen to it. Okay, I'm just really excited about this episode. I'm telling you, like, I've been trying to find someone to talk about NFTs and explain it so it's not like sounding like, Egyptian, Greek, and Chinese wrapped up all in one language. And he broke it all down like I've never heard anybody else for creatives. All right. Share an episode. Go find an episode, share it. Doesn't matter what number it is. Carlin's episode, highly recommend. I recommend any of the episodes that blessed you, but share it with somebody and just say, hey, I don't know if you heard this podcast. It's been around a while. I think this guy is legit, but more importantly, the people he has on the show are legit. They were Christian, faith-focused creatives who make music, who make art, who make a living doing what they love, but they do so inside or outside the church, and they don't change who they are when they operate in these different spheres. They simply are working as God's children in different areas as creatives. That's all this is, and that's all this will ever be, is people that are called by God to bless people through their creative gifts wherever they are. And that is why it's called God and Gigs, because God comes first, but whatever the gig is, you're glorifying God through it. Doesn't matter whether it's inside or outside of a church. We're all here to bless each other and to help us to advance the kingdom of God in all kinds of ways. Okay. All right. That's it. 6:45. I got to go. This got like, I just get this charge of energy that I didn't expect. And now I'm like, don't know what to do with it, but I have to get ready to head out. So until next time, guys, continue to become the creatives that you were created to be. Do check out episode 200 if you want to celebrate with us. But any of those things you do, following the show, whatever, it's going to be a blessing. You've been a blessing to me even today. Thank you so much, Carlin, for joining us. Thank you, Precious, Jason, Ari. I saw not Tobias. Wait, who's over here? We saw, popped out of my head. I'm thinking too fast. Mickey. Saw Mickey Platt over here. Everybody that's joined us. I see a couple people joining us right now, and I always hate to hang out whenever people are joining, but watch it on the replay, okay? Because we got to get ready to head out of here. God bless you guys. Thanks so much. And we'll see you. You know what? Maybe we should do this next Friday. How's that? I promise I'll show up next Friday as well. We'll do another creative checkup to go along with our episode. Take care, everybody. Love you guys. Thank you so much for helping us get the 200 episodes. And here's to 200 more.